Transfer of title by non-owners. In general, the seller cannot sell goods which he is not the owner. So, if I am not the owner, I cannot sell the goods. I cannot sell the goods to the buyer. I cannot sell what I do not have. Non-owners cannot sell the goods. This is a general rule. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. There are certain exceptions to the rule. This maxim that non-owner cannot sell the goods, it cannot sell what he doesn't have, is given expressed in the Latin maxim nemo dat quod non habet, which means no one can give what he has not got. So I cannot give goods which I do not own. For example, if A has stolen some goods and he has sold some stolen goods to B, who has bought them in good faith, B will not get a good title. Plus hire purchase agreement. Hirer of the vehicle sells goods to Q. Hirer is not the owner. So Q will not get the bona fide ownership. So a seller, no, a person cannot sell the goods of which he himself has no good title. So I told there are certain exceptions for this rule which are following. Sale by a mercantile agent. Sale by a mercantile agent. Mercantile agent is an agent having the authority to sell goods, consign goods, purchase consign goods for the purpose of sale, buy goods, or raise money on the security of goods. He acts like an agent on behalf of the principal. So, if there is a sale by mercantile agent, this is an exception, and still, if he is non-owner, the buyer will get valid title to goods. So, this is an exception to mercantile agent. However, following conditions should be satisfied. He should be in possession of the goods with the consent of the owner. He should have had goods with the consent of the owner. Sale was made in the ordinary course of business as a mercantile agent, and the buyer acted in good faith. Buyer trusted the seller, that is agent, and at the time of contract of sale had no notice that the seller had no authority to sell. He didn't have any idea that seller is not having authority to sell. So in that case, it is an exception. Sale by a joint owner. Suppose there are 2 to 3 joint owners, and the position of the goods is with one of the joint owner, and that joint owner has sold the goods. Then it will be a valid sale. The buyer will get a good title if he had purchased in good faith, and at the time of contract didn't have any notice that seller had no authority to sell the goods. We have an example. ABC are the joint owners of a TV and VCR, and with consent of B and C, TV and VCR was kept with the possession of A. A sold the goods to P, who bought them in good faith and without notice that A had no authority to sell. P will get a good title. Sale by a person in possession under voidable contract. Suppose a person who had got something under voidable contract. A person had got something under a voidable contract, like at a gunpoint, he got a diamond ring. Diamond ring. He got a diamond ring. And what will happen? It will become voidable at the hand of other person. It will become voidable in the hands of aggrieved party. So aggrieved party has two options, either to accept the contract or reject the contract. The aggrieved party has not resigned the contract yet. Before that, the person has sold the diamond ring to another person. Now this person will get a valid title to the goods. A buyer would acquire a good title to the goods sold to him by a seller who has obtained the possession of the goods under contract voidable on the ground of coercion, fraud, misrepresentation, or undue influence, provided that contract has not been decided until the time of the sale. X fraudulently obtains a diamond ring from Y. This contract is voidable option of Y. So X fraudulently obtained from Y, but before the contract could be terminated, X sells the ring to the Z, an innocent purchaser. Z gets a good title and Y cannot recover the ring, even ring from Z. even if the contract was subsequently set aside. Now, here, this Y cannot obtain the ring from Z because Z got a valid title to the goods. Sale by one who has already sold the goods but continue in the possession thereof. A person sold the goods but to another buyer. The seller buyer sold the goods to another buyer. Now what happens is he still remains, he sold a laptop, for example. He still is in the possession of the laptop. He told he will deliver in 5 days. Contract of sale has been made, property has been passed, but still has the possession of the goods. Now, this this seller, what he does is he is not the true owner now. Property has been passed. True owner is this buyer. He is the true owner. What he does is sells the laptop to another person. This is A, this is B, this is C. So this person will get a valid title to to goods. If a person has sold goods but continues to be in possession of them, A has sold the goods but continues to be in the possession of the same or of the documents of title to them, or he's having the document of title. He may sell the goods to a third person, and such person obtains the delivery in good faith. If he has obtained the delivery in good faith and without notice of the previous sale, he doesn't know that it is already sold the goods to another buyer. He would have good title to them, although the property in the goods had passed to the first buyer earlier. Likewise, a pledge or other disposition of goods of title of documents of title by seller in possession are equally valid. Likewise, the pledge is also similarly valid. We have seen in the exceptions pledged by non-owner of the goods. Similarly, if A pledges the goods to C, it will be a valid pledge. R buys a TV from P buys a TV set from R. R agrees to deliver the same to P after few days. In meanwhile, R sells the same to S. So here it is P, it is R, and here it is S at a higher price. Who buys in good faith without knowledge of previous sale? S gets a good title. Sale by buyer obtaining possession before the property in goods has vested in him. Suppose there is a person who is selling the goods, sorry, a buyer who is buying the goods. He told the seller that he wants to continue usage of goods. He want to check whether goods is fit for him. He told he will use it for few days and then he'll pay the price. He is not the owner of the goods. Okay. So he is using the goods. If he likes the goods, he will pay. Otherwise, he will reject. Now, when he's using the goods, he's not the true owner, but he's in the possession of the goods. He is selling to some other person. Now, this person acted in good faith and without notice that the seller has no authority to sell, he will get a good title. When the buyer, with the consent of the seller, obtains the possession of the goods before the property in them has been passed to him, so he is consent of the seller obtaining the goods before the property has passed to him. The property has not yet passed, but he has got the possession. He may sell, pledge, or otherwise dispose the goods to a third person, and if such person obtains the delivery of the goods in good faith and without notice of the lien or other right of original seller in respect of goods, he would get good title to them. So he will get a good title. Furniture was delivered to be under an agreement that the price was to be paid in two installments. The furniture to become property of B on payment of second installment only. So he'll use the furniture only on second installment. He'll be the original owner. B sold the furniture before the second installment was paid. To sell, that buyer acquired a good title. However, person in possession of the goods under hire purchase agreement, which gives only an option to buy, is not covered within section unless it amounts to a sale. What is this exceptions? We will read. A took a car from B on this condition that A would pay a monthly installment of 5,000 as hire charges, with the option to purchase it by payment of 1 lakh in 24 installments. After the payment of few installments, A sold the car to C. B can recover the car from C since A had neither bought the car nor had agreed to buy the car. He had only an option to buy the car. He had only option to buy the car. He is not buying the car. He is not a potential buyer. He had only option to buy the car. Now here A took a car from B, no. So he had only, so what will happen? So B can recover the car from C. B will recover the car from C. B can recover car from C. There are three parties, namely A, B, and C. A took the car from B. Then A sold it to C. Now, generally, B cannot recover from C. But in case of hire purchase, A did not have any. A was not a potential buyer. He has only option to buy. So B can recover it from C. Effect of estoppel. What is estoppel? He is the true owner. True owner is C. And A is selling to B the goods in front of C. A is selling the goods to B in front of C, but C is remaining silent. C is not saying anything. A is selling the goods to B. So A becomes owner by estoppel. Means he's acting as if he is the owner, and C is also not saying anything. B is under a belief that A is only the owner. If A is not the owner, C should have told it. A said to B buyer in presence of C that he is the owner of the horse. But C remained silent though the horse belonged to him. B bought the horse from A. Here B will get a valid title to the horse even though seller had no title to the horse. In this case, C by his own conduct is prevented from denying A's authority to sell the horse. Here C silence has induced B to believe that A is the owner of the horse. Sale by an unpaid seller. When we study unpaid seller will called an unpaid seller when he is not paid the money, whole money. 100 rupees, if he is paid 99 also, he'll be called unpaid seller because 1 rupee is not paid. So that unpaid seller, what he can do is he can exercise right of lien. Until the amount is paid, he can exercise the right of lien. After or stoppage in transit. So he can exercise these two rights. And after exercising these right, if he resells the goods, he is reselling the goods. And the person buying the goods will get a good title. Sale under the provisions of other acts. Sale by official liquidator of the company. The purchaser will get a valid title. Sale purchase of goods from finder of goods will get a valid title. Suppose finder of the goods sells the goods. Sells the goods because we have read that he can sell the goods when it is perishing in nature. The legal charges are two-thirds of the value of the goods. Then he can sell the goods. So the buyer will get a valid title. Sale by pawnee can convey good title to the buyer. Pawnee also, if he's not getting money or interest, he can sell the pledged goods, and the buyer will get a valid title. Performance of the contract of sale. The performance of contract of sale implies what is performance of contract of sale? What is the actual performance? Delivery of goods. Implies delivery of goods by the seller and acceptance of delivery of goods and, and payment of price for them by the buyer in accordance to the terms of the contract. Definition of delivery. What is delivery? Delivery means voluntary transfer of possession from one person to another. If there is a possession is taken through unfair means, like forcefully, then there is no delivery of goods. It should be voluntary transfer of possession from one person to another. For delivery, physical possession is not important. The buyer could be placed in possession so that he can exercise right over the goods. Physically, the goods should be transferred is not important. There can be three types of delivery: actual delivery, which is physical delivery, symbolic or constructive delivery. We will see that. We have already seen that. Duties of seller and buyer. Seller should deliver the goods and buyer should accept and pay for them. And these two are concurrent conditions. He should deliver the goods, he should pay the price. He will not deliver unless price is paid. He will not pay unless the goods are delivered. So these go hand in hand and are concurrent conditions. Now rules regarding delivery of goods. Delivery should be done maybe by doing agreed by the parties. Delivery of goods sold may be made by doing anything which the parties agree shall be treated as delivery. If they agree symbolic delivery is delivery means it is a delivery. Whatever they agree is delivery shall be treated as delivery by doing anything which the parties agree or which has the effect of putting the goods in possession of the buyer or any other person authorized to hold them on his behalf, either to put them in possession of the buyer or his agent who is authorized to hold in his behalf. Effect of part delivery. A delivery of goods. Suppose I am trying to deliver 1000 goods, but in a lorry I could deliver only 800 goods. So next lorry I delivered 200 goods. So this 800 goods I delivered only because I wanted to deliver entire 1000 goods. So this will be a delivery of whole. But I am delivering goods 500 only on the first day, and the third day I agreed to deliver another 500 goods. These two are part delivery. A delivery of part goods in process of delivery of whole has the same effect for purpose of passing the property in such goods as a delivery of the whole. But a delivery of part of the goods with the intention of severing it from the whole does not operate as delivery of the remainder. Buyer to apply for delivery. Buyer should apply for the delivery of the goods. Place of delivery. Place of delivery should be uh, whether it is buyer to take possession of the goods or for seller to send the goods is a question depending on each case. And uh, contract, it depends on the contract express or implied. If there is no such contract, then the goods are to be delivered at a place where contract of sale was made, or goods to be delivered at a place where agreement to sell has been made. If the goods are not in existence, then where they are manufactured or produced at that place, goods should be delivered. Time of delivery, reasonable time if contract it is not fixed in the contract. Goods in possession of the third party. If goods are in possession of the third party, there will be no delivery if the third party acknowledges, unless the third party does not acknowledges that he is holding the goods on behalf of the other. First he was holding on the behalf of seller, now he tells if he is holding on the behalf of the buyer. Time for tender for delivery. We have to tender the delivery at a reasonable hour. And it will depend on the facts of the case. What is reasonable? Expenses of delivery to be borne by the seller. Delivery of wrong quantity. When the seller delivers wrong quantity, then the buyer can accept the goods or reject the whole. And if he accepts, he should pay them at a contract rate. Suppose quantity delivered is greater than what has been agreed for, he can accept the whole or accept what is contracted for and reject the rest or reject the whole. If the buyer accepts the whole, then he shall pay the price at a contract rate. Where the seller delivers the buyer contracted quantity is less than contracted quantity, actual quantity is greater than contracted quantity, or it is actual quantity is less than contracted quantity, he can accept or reject the whole. And if he accepts, he can pay at the contract rate. The buyer may accept the goods which are in accordance. Sorry, this is not that case. This is the case where he has mixed goods of a different description not included in the contract. So buyer may accept the goods which are in accordance with the contract and reject the rest or reject the whole contract. Provision of this section are subject to usage of trade, special agreement or course of dealing between the parties. He agrees to sell 1,000 quintals of wheat to B, 100 quintals of wheat to B at 1,000 per quintal. A delivers 1,100 quintals. B may reject the whole lot or accept only 1,000 quintals and reject the rest, or accept the whole lot and pay for the contract sale. It should be 1,000, I guess. Installment deliveries. Unless until agreed, the seller cannot deliver in installments. Buyer is not bound to accept delivery in installments. The rights and liability in case of delivery by installments and payments thereon may be determined by the parties to the contract. So all this should be fixed in the contract. There was a sale of 100 tons of paper to be shipped in November. The seller shipped 80 tons in November and 20 tons in December. The buyer was entitled to reject the 100 tons. Deliver it to carrier. If I deliver to carrier, it means I have deemed to delivery to the buyer. I have delivered to carrier for what? For transmission to the buyer. That means I have deemed to be delivery to the buyer. Excuse me. Deterioration during transit. When there is deterioration during transit, which is like a normal loss, which is incidental to the course of transmission, it will fall on the buyer. Normally, the deterioration will happen if there is a transit. Though the seller agrees to seller, though the seller agrees to deliver it at his own risk. P sold to Q certain quantity of iron rods which were to be sent by proper vessel. It was tested before it reached the buyer. The rest of the rod was so minimal that it was not affecting the merchantable quality, and the returns were not necessary, was not incidental to its transmission. It was held that Q was bound to accept the goods. Buyer's right to examine the goods. Buyer should examine the goods. Buyer should have reasonable opportunity to examine the goods. Where goods are delivered to the buyer who has not previously examined them, he is entitled to reasonable opportunity of examining them in order to ascertain whether they are conformity with the contract. Unless otherwise agreed, seller is bound on request to afford the buyer a reasonable opportunity of examining the goods. Acceptance. Rules relating to acceptance of delivery of goods. Acceptance is deemed to take place when the buyer intimates to the seller that when will acceptance of delivery of the goods happen, intimates to the seller that he has accepted the goods, does any act which is inconsistent with the true ownership of the seller. Like he sells the goods to another person or pledges the goods. He has done any act which tells that he is like the owner. Retains the goods after lapse of the reasonable times without intimating that he is rejecting the goods. He is only retaining goods means he is accepting the goods and without giving that notice that he has rejected the goods. Buyer not bound to return the rejected goods. Once he has rejected the goods, it is enough only if he gives notice that he has refuses to accept them. He need not return the goods. Liability of buyer for neglecting or refusing delivery of the goods. When the seller is delivering the goods and the buyer is not taking the delivery of the goods, buyer is not taking the delivery of the goods, then the buyer with reasonable time to such, he is liable to the seller for any loss occasioned by his neglect or refusal to take delivery. Then buyer will be liable to the seller for any loss of the goods or neglect, and he should give reasonable charge for the care and custody of the goods. Provided further that nothing in this section shall affect the rights of seller where the neglect or refusal of buyer to take delivery amounts to repudiation of a contract. So nothing in this section shall affect the right of the seller. Seller will have the right not affect the right. So this is with relation to unit 3. The property in the goods means possession of the goods, ownership of the goods, custody of the goods, both A and C. The property in the goods means ownership of the goods. In case of sale on approval, the ownership is transferred to the buyer when he accepts the goods, adopts the transaction, fails to return the goods in all the above cases. All the above cases. When he accepts the goods also, ownership is transferred, adopts the transaction also, fails to return the goods also. We have seen several conditions, no? So in all the above cases, the ownership is transferred. If a seller hands over keys of a warehouse containing goods to the buyer, it results in symbolic delivery. A sell to B 100 bags of wheat lying in C's warehouse. A addresses to C to deliver the wheat to B. C agreed to hold the bags on behalf of B and makes the necessary entry in this book. This is called what? Constructive delivery. Selection of goods with the intention of using them in performance of the contract and with the mutual consent of seller and buyer is known as what? We are selecting the goods with the intention of using them in performance of contract is called appropriation. Appropriation of what goods? Unascertained goods. In contract of sale of goods, if the seller is not the owner of the goods, the title of the buyer shall not be same of that of the seller, be same that of the seller, be better than that of the seller, none of the above. Shall be same that of the seller. If seller is not the owner, buyer will also be not the owner of the goods. Nemo that quad non-habit means one cannot give what one does not have. Let the buyer be aware. What is paid, paid according to intention of manner of the party. It means one cannot give what he doesn't have. The goods are at risk of the party who has the ownership, possession, custody, ownership of the goods. If the seller delivers to the buyer a quantity less than he contracted to sell, the buyer may reject the goods, accept the goods, either B or B, neither A or B. He can do accept or reject and pay for the contract rate. Appropriation of goods means segregating the goods sold from other goods, putting the quantity of goods sold in suitable receptacles, and delivering the goods to the carrier or to the other bailey for the purpose of transmission to the buyer without reserving the right of disposal. So appropriation means all of the above. It is also separating the goods, putting the quantity of goods sold in suitable receptacles, delivering the goods without reserving the right of disposal is also means appropriation, unconditional appropriation to goods. Which of the following is true as regards to delivery of goods in installments as per sale of goods act? The buyer is bound to accept installment deliveries only in case of perishable goods. The buyer is bound to accept the installment delivery in case of goods by description. The buyer is bound to accept the installment deliveries if agreed between the parties. Deliveries can't be made in installments. If it is agreed, then only he can deliver the goods in installments. Nemo that quad non-habit. None can give or transfer what he has not himself own. Explain the rule and state the cases in which the rule does not apply under the provisions of the. So we have to give the exceptions of the rule, which is sale by non-mercantile agent. We have to give the sale by non-owners. Okay. J, the owner of a Fiat car, wants to sell his car. For this purpose, he hand over the car to P, a mercantile agent, for sale at a price not less than 50,000. The agent sells the car for 40,000 to A, who buys the car in good faith and without notice of any fraud. P misappropriated the money also. J sues A for the recover the car. Decide give reasons whether say J would succeed. Your sale by mercantile agent would be valid if he satisfies the conditions. What are the conditions? What are the conditions? The agent should be in possession of the goods with the consent of the owner. He should have sold the goods while acting in the ordinary course of the business. The buyer should have acted in good faith. The buyer did not have the time of contract of sale notice that he has no authority to sell. So in the given case, P agent was in possession of the car with J's consent for the purpose of sale. Agent P acted in the ordinary course of the business and sold the car to A in good faith. Therefore, A buyer obtained a good title to the car. Hence, J in this case cannot recover the car from A. Now we will see the third question. Mr. S agreed to purchase 100 bales of cotton from V out of his large stock and sent his men to take delivery of the goods. They could pack only 60 bales. Later on, there was an accidental fire and the entire stock was destroyed, including 60 bales that were already packed. Referring to the provisions of Sale of Goods Act 1930, explain as to who will bear the loss to what extent. Now, 60 bales of cottons are ascertained, 40 bales of cottons are unascertained goods. So, ownership can be passed only for the 60 bales of cotton to the buyer. Here, these are unascertained goods. There are two cases given where the bales have been selected with the consent of the buyer's representatives. 60 bales were selected. No, it should be with the help of with the assent of the buyer or with the by the buyer with the assent of the seller. So in this case, if there is an assent of the buyer, 60 bales has been transferred to the buyer and the goods have been appropriated to the contract. Thus, loss arising due to fire, 60 bales would be borne by Mr. S and 40 bales the loss would be borne by Mr. V, since the goods have been not identified and appropriated. But if the bales have not been selected with the consent of the buyer's representatives, then entire 100 bales who will bear the loss would be borne by Mr. V completely. Appropriation means what? Selecting of the goods by for the purpose of performance of the contract by buyer by the seller with the assent of the buyer or by the buyer with the assent of the seller. Such assent can be expressed or implied. Miss Preeti owned a motor car which she handed over to Mr. Joshi on sale or return basis. There is sale or return basis. After a week, Mr. Joshi pledged the motor car to Mr. Ganesh. So there is a pledge. There is an act which is done which amounts to that he is the owner of the good. Miss Preeti now claims back the motor car from Mr. Ganesh. Will she succeed? Referring to the provisions of Sale of Goods Act, decide and examine what recourse is available to Miss Preeti. So when the goods are sent on sale or approval basis, the property passes to the buyer when he signifies his approval that yes, I want the goods. Or if it does not signify the approval but retains the good without notice of rejection. Or if the time is fixed for the contracts, after expiration of such time also he is keeping the goods. And if no time is fixed, he is keeping the goods after expiration of reasonable time also. And he does something which is equivalent to accepting the goods. Example, pledges or sells the goods. So this category, this question comes in the third category, third condition. Referring to the above, we can analyze the situations given in the question. This is analysis. Since Mr. Joshi has taken delivery of motor car and pledged the motor car to Mr. has attracted the third condition that he has done something to the good which is equivalent to accepting the goods. He pledges or sells the goods. Therefore, the property therein passes to Mr. Joshi. Now, in this, Mr. cannot claim back her motor car from Mr. Ganesh, but she can claim the price of the motor car Mr. Joshi only. A, B, C were joint owner of a truck and the possession of the said truck was with B. So there are joint owner of the truck and it was in possession with Mr. B. X purchased the truck from B without knowing that A and C were also owners of the truck. Decide in light of the provisions whether the sale between X, B and X is valid or not. So we have seen the exception that one of the joint owners selling the goods gives a valid title to the buyer of the goods. According to the Sale of Goods Act, sale by any one of the several joint owners is valid if the following conditions are satisfied. One of the several joint owners has the possession of the goods. Possession of the goods is by the permission of the co-owners. The buyers buys them in good faith, so he should have been permission of the other owners. And buyers buys in good faith and is not at the time of contract of sale knowledge that the seller has no authority to sell. In the above case, A, B, C are joint owners, and the possession of the truck was with B. Now B sold the truck to X. X, without knowing this fact, purchased the truck from B. The sale between B is perfectly valid because in case In case of several joint owners has the possession of the goods by permission of the co-owners, and if the buyer buys them in good faith without knowledge of the fact that seller has no authority to sell, it will give rise to a valid contract of the sale. X agreed to purchase 300 tons of wheat from Y out of a larger stock. X sent his men with the sacks, and 150 tons of wheat were put into the sacks. Then there was a sudden fire, and entire stock was gutted. Who will bear the loss and why? So these are sale of unascertained goods. So 150 were ascertained and appropriated. According to section 21, if the goods are not in developable state and the contract is of specific goods, the property does not pass to the buyer unless the seller has done anything putting them in deliverable state and buyer has knowledge of it. So it is not in deliverable state, and he puts it in deliverable state and buyer has knowledge of it. Sometimes the seller is required to do certain acts as to put the goods in deliverable state like packing, filling containers, etc. No property in goods passes unless such act is done and buyer knows about it. So this is not case of certain unseen goods, but these are specific goods, and he has to pack it. In the given case, S agreed to purchase 300 tons of wheat out of a larger stock. X sent his men to put the wheat in the sacks. Out of 300 tons, only 50 tons were put into sacks. There was sudden fire and the entire stock was gutted. In this case, according to provision, 150 tons of wheat sale was taken place. So, buyer will be responsible to bear the loss. The loss of rest of the wheat will be that of the seller. The wheat which was put in sacks fulfills both the conditions that are the wheat to be put in deliverable state in the sacks. The buyer is presumed to have knowledge of it because the men who put the wheat in the sacks are that of the buyer. The buyer took delivery of 20 tables from the seller on sale or return basis without examining them. Subsequently, he sold 5 tables to his customers. The customer lodged a complaint of some defect in the tables. The buyer sought to return tables to the seller. Was the buyer entitled to return the tables to the seller under the provisions of the Sale of Goods Act? Here, what happened? He has sold to the the buyer has sold to another seller. That means he has accepted the goods for 5 tables. So he cannot return those 5 tables. He can return the goods only for 15 tables. According to the sections of Sale of Goods Act, in case of delivery of goods on approval basis, the property in the passes to the from seller to the buyer when he accepts them or does an act which implies adopting the transaction. When the person to whom goods are given retains the goods without giving notice of his approval, giving notice of rejection beyond time fixed for the return of the goods, and in case no time is fixed after lapse of reasonable time. In the given case, seller has delivered 20 tables to the buyer on sale or return basis. Buyer received the tables without examining them. Out of these 20 tables, he sold 5 tables to his customer. It implies that he has accepted 5 tables out of 20. Third condition. When the buyers received the complaint of some defect, he wanted to return all the tables. According to the provisions, he is entitled to return only 15 tables and not 5 tables which he has already sold to his customers. These 5 tables are already adopted by him, so the buyer becomes liable under the doctrine of caveat emptor. A delivered a horse to be on sale or return basis. The agreement provided that B should try the horse for 8 days and return the horse if he did not like the horse. The third party, on the third day, the horse died without the fault of B. A filed a suit to B for the recovery of the price. Can he recover the price? The 8 days has not expired. A delivered the horse on sale or return. It was decided them try the horse for 8 days, and if he did not like it, he'll return the horse to the owner. But on third day, horse died without any fault of the B. The time given by the seller to the has not expired yet. Therefore, the ownership of the horse still belongs to the seller A. B will not be considered as the owner of the horse only when the B will be considered only when B has not returned the horse within the stipulated time. The suit by A for the recovery of the horse from B is invalid. I cannot recover the price from B. Had the horse expired or died after the expiry of the time, then B would have been held liable, but not before that time period. So this is with reference to Unit 3.